Charlie buys a meat pie with the penny and sticks it in his vest pocket, and we heads back to our kip. It's starting to get dark and all. We'll divide up the pie when we all gets back in the kip, along with whatever else the others have managed to scrounge up. Charlie's got a good way of dividing up the stuff we get. He says he learned it from a man who was once in prison, and what Charlie does is he takes his shiv and cuts up whatever's there into pieces as alike in size as he can judge it. Then he turns his back so he can't see the pieces, and one of us points at a piece, and then Charlie calls out one of our names, and that one gets that piece, and so on, till it's all shared out and fair. We're almost there, and I'm quieted down now, and I asks again, "Charlie, why don't we just do the reading thing? We always makes money at it. I hates the begging so." Charlie is quiet for a while, and then he says, "All right, Mary, I'll be telling you straight. You're a bright penny anyways, and you see the wisdom of me thinking." Charlie stops in the gloom and takes me by the shoulder and turns me around and looks me in me eyes. "It's 'cause I don't want you stolen, is why." I looks up at him and he puffs up and goes on. "Nah, suppose we stands up in front of the broadsides and newspapers and such every day, and all right, we'll make money. I'll grant you that. Probably enough to get by on. But..." And here he stops and looks hard at me again. "It won't go without notice, don't you see?" And he shakes me shoulder. "Some bigger and meaner gang will see that your little trick is a good way to turn a penny, and they'll be off with you in a minute. I'll try and stop 'em, but all I got is me Shiv and Huey. They've got bigger and tougher coves running those gangs. Some are full-growed and I couldn't stop 'em. Like Pigger O'Toole and Dirty Henry. You want to be with them? That's why I only runs the reading game every few days, and nobody'd notice you. And why I'm always on the outer edge of the crowd, keeping me eye peeled for some cove checking you out. That's why I told Huey that if anyone ever makes a grab for you, that he's to hold on to you and run away and hide, not stand and fight like he'd want." Charlie stops to see if I'm getting this. I am.
"And if a big and nasty gang don't get you, then one of the printers would see that you could be some use to him, and without the bother of an apprentice, 'cause no girl's ever gonna apprentice in the trades. And he'd take you and use you for setting words for a while, and then he'd take you and use you for other things when you got older, and then he'd throw you out. Or his wife would. Is that what you want, Mary?"
I looks down all meek and says, "Nah, I don't want that." Charlie puts his arm around me shoulders, and I puts my arm around his waist and presses me face against his vest. I likes it when he does that, putting his arm around me, I mean. And I get to be close to him and all. We go back to the kip. Dashing highwaymen and funny drawings ain't the only things out in front of the printers' shops. There's also the posters for the Newgate hangings, which I don't find fun at all, 'cause Charlie one time told us about the hanging of Mary Townsend a year or so back, and how she was only 13 and condemned for stealing bread or some such. When she was dropped on the gallows, she wouldn't die 'cause she didn't weigh enough to break her neck when she come to the end of the rope. She just dangled there, kicking and choking for the longest time, till the merciful hangman took the rope in his hands and jumped down on her thin shoulders with his heavy boots, which snapped her neck and stopped her choking and kicking for good and ever. And I'm so sick when I hears this that I pukes up the nothing in my belly, and I runs off and don't sleep right for 3 nights, and I never get the thought of poor Mary Townsend completely out of my mind, ever. And I have a weird, awful sense that it's going to happen to me some day, too. I don't know why, but I do. It keeps coming to me in dreams or when me mind wanders, and I dreads it, and I shakes when it comes over me. So when the others go off to work the crowd at Newgate on Mondays, which is the hanging day, unless it's a holiday like Christmas, in which case the poor wretches are hanged the Saturday before so as not to upset the joy of the day, I won't go with them. I stays in the kip. I've seen the awful horrid things hanging in the cages at the edge of the city, all black and dried out and stinking with the birds picking at 'em.
Along with the posters in front of the printers is advertisements for extra good viewing windows for rent by the day in the Newgate courtyard, so's the toffs can have a party with their friends and watch the hangings. And when a young girl is being hanged, the price goes up. £10 sometimes. I am sick to me heart over such hateful things in the world, and I prays for deliverance.